Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Shauki bin Muhammad Zainal, and this is my group members. Today, we will present about shooting skills analysis in netball. For introduction of shooting skill in netball, shooting is a crucial skill in netball as it is the only way to score points. To shoot accurately, a player must have proper technique, good body positioning, and the ability to aim and release the ball correctly. The first step in shooting is to position the body correctly. This includes facing the hoop, having the feet shoulder width apart and pointing towards the hoop, and holding the ball correctly with both hands. Next, the shooter should aim for the hoop by aligning the ball with their dominant eye and the hoop. The shooter should also aim for the back of the hoop, as this increases the chances of the ball going in. In summary, shooting skill in netball requires proper technique, body positioning, aim, release, and practice. Good court vision, passing skills, and communication with teammates are also important for a good shooter.
Phase of netball shooting. The first is movement skill. To improve their shooting accuracy, a player must make sure they are stable and in a balanced state. One of the athlete's main concerns when executing the netball shoot is making sure the proper posture is maintained. In order to execute his talent correctly, balance, position, concentration, and aim are essential. This factor may have an impact on the outcome of the netball shoot. Being able to control and modify their body while it is stationary is a vital part of netball shooting. A person base of support, which is obtained in netball by placing both feet on the ground before taking a shot, is related to balance. The player's center of mass, or COM, must be determined in order to achieve balance. The definition of COM is the location where the body is uniformly dispersed throughout. The feet and shoulders are where the netball shoot is executed. The base of support for the body serves as a stabilizing force. The larger the base of support, the more stable the shot will be. The second is action phase. The preferred netball shooting method mostly entails a one-hand shot with the opposing hand placed on the other side of the ball to support and guide the attempt. The ideal range of elbow flexion angles for netball shooting is between 90 and 104 degrees. The best biomechanical method recommend that players simply extend their shooting hand as far as is required to stabilize the ball before shooting, preventing excessive wrist hypertension in the process. The use of the push-like movement is the most typical motion sequence when making a goal shot in netball. A push-like action is frequently adopted for the best goal shoot since it enables the body's kinetic change to move in a straight path. By enabling the complete body to unite force from the point of support throughout the ball release, the kinetic change maximizes force production. This happens when force is applied from the base of support by bending the knees just enough to generate motion. The shooting arm stretch straight and close to the ear, and the knees project forward while pushing up on the toes in order to send the ball off the fingertips in an upward motion. The third is release phase. The best biomechanical approach during the release stage entails extending the knees, shooting the elbow, and concurrently flexing the wrist. The shooting hand should be used to send the ball toward the goal with little thumb, arm, and forearm movement. This action sequence is modified to prevent the body's balance and focus from being affected by excessive trunk movement during the firing action. Therefore, it is crucial for the player to take gravity into account in order to throw the ball at the angle that will allow it to move ball vertically and horizontally in the direction of the ring. The ball will be partially dragged drop the goal ring by gravity thanks to this added projecting angle. Additionally, the high arm release motion is the best movement to ensure that there is little space between the release point and the goal ring, making the effort more brief and increasing the likelihood that the appropriate relative height of projection will be attained. In netball shooting, the ability to shoot and pass requires strong upper body muscle. The deltoid, bicep, tricep, and forearm muscle are the muscle of the shoulder and arm. The rector, abdominis, obliquus, and spinal erector are required for balance, while ellipsoid and hinge in the shooting motion joint are utilized when the ball is being prepared to be thrown until it has been hurled and the motion is being followed through with your arm and wrist. The hinge joint, elbow and knee, when bending knees for the more stature, is flexed and then extended. And the humerus, long bone, ulna, long bone, radius, long bone, wrist carpal and metacarpal, short bone, femur, long bone, patella, flat bone, tibia, long bone, and fibula are the bone involved in shooting in netball. The level system for the netball shot fall under the category of first class level. The load is at one end, the effort is at the other, and the fulcrum is in the middle of the first class level. Levels are utilized to increase force, boosting the force generated by the muscle in the lower body and simplifying netball shooting.
Next, I will go through with kinematic and kinetic analysis of netball shooting. The objective of kinematic and kinetic analysis are to define the difference between the pro athlete and novice athlete based on the technique and to examine the kinematic and kinetic aspect that will impact on the analysis result. So this is the table about the detail of the subject for the analysis. For the kinematic analysis, I begin with range of motion, in the short form also known as ROM. Both athletes have the same knee flexion, but there is a big difference in between of elbow and shoulder during the preparation phase. So the novice generates low force than the pro athlete. For the action phase, there is a development at angle of knee and elbow flexion for pro athlete, while the novice athlete remains in the same posture. The left angle of knee flexion can lead to low force generated in release phase. There is also the difference of shoulder flexion between pro athlete and novice athlete that will give impact to the projection height. For the next phase, which is release phase, the pro athlete's knee and elbow flexion has increased, while the novice athlete has increased her elbow flexion only. For the pro athlete has a better execution than the novice athlete, because of the pro athlete has a much higher force that has been generated. For the second point for kinematic analysis is a projectile trajectory. The direction and consequent accuracy of the shot will be significantly influenced by the trajectory motion and angle at which the ball is released. So for the ideal release angle is just above 45 degrees. So this is the comparison shows the difference of projectile trajectory between the pro athlete and novice athlete. Next, I will state about the kinematic analysis. I will start with force. Simply put, force is the push or pull of one thing against another. As an illustration, when a muscle contracts, a force is generated that is passed to the tendon and pulls on the bony connection, causing motion. Force is equal to mass times by acceleration, that also known as F equals to ma, and Newton is the SI unit for the force. For this technique, force is generated opposite way when the subject release the ball. Force protection between the both athletes is close, but there is a difference in distance. Next point is torque. The propensity of force to initiate or modify the rotational motion of a body is known as torque. It is a force that causes an object to twist and or turn. Force and movement are multiplied to calculate torque. From the comparison, pro athlete release much greater amount of torque being generated compared to the novice athlete. There are strengths and the weakness for this analysis. For strengths, the novice athlete has the ability to train the right and proper skill technique, such as either body posture and throwing the ball. The second is a simple subject. For example, we briefly explain the aim of the analysis and the technique to the novice athlete. There are also weaknesses for the analysis too, such as the novice athlete required more time to adapt with the technique and preparation. For the next part, the novice did the technique during the hot day that leads to dehydrate much easier. For the steps to maximize the skill performance, the novice player needs to improve the skill, range of motion, angle of projection, body alignment, and submaximal force. Some of the stages that novice athlete include has a broader range of motion and perfect timing in order to generate an accurate amount of force in the netball shooting. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, for strength and weakness, after analyzing the skill, certain strength and limitation can be recognized. The subject's strength include the ability to train the right and proper skill technique, such as ideal body posture and throwing the ball. The second is a simple subject. For example, we briefly explain the aim of the analysis and the technique to the athletes. Furthermore, we discover certain flaws. Subject or athlete, for example, require time to adapt. For example, they need time to adjust to the court settings, so they need more time to prepare before beginning the analysis. The second is that we use an outdoor court. Due to the hot heat, the subjects or athlete are more prone to dehydration in this condition. Okay, for steps for maximizing skill performance, according to the study and result, there is still room to improve the novice player skill, range of motion, angle of projection, body alignment, and submaximal force. Some of the stage to maximize the novice talent include having a broader range of motion and perfect timing in order to generate an accurate amount of force in netball shooting. The inexperienced player should next improve the angle of ball release to increase the percentage of the ball entering the ring, which is done by using a major muscle first, followed by minor muscle. Aside from that, the rookie must make adjustment to their force output in order to achieve an exact ball speed and avoid overheating the ball, such as using the third Newton law, also known as the law of response, which can generate the same amount of force when we press into the ground.
Finally, the projectile trajectory and range of motion, which is the angle of motion, are critical in determining the result of analysis. Aside from that, we discover that the most important factor in improving goal scoring accuracy is technique. So next, in order to improve his or her chance of scoring a goal, the rookie must pay closer attention to this component. Finally, professional athletes should keep practicing and hoping their skill in order to achieve peak performance, particularly in netball shooting skill. As a result, with strong specific training, the team can earn a point, and with a match plus the skill can be improved on a regular basis. Thank you.